how many non-bonded pairs of electrons in ammonia, which is NH3, where they give us that nitrogen is 7 and hydrogen is 1. Okay, look, by understanding Lewis structure, and if you can take the previous question to understand Lewis structure, or the questions before that are related to Lewis structure. But anyway, Lewis structure, they said electrons and the valence electrons, they have to be represented by dots around the element. Okay, here now, if we are talking about nitrogen, it has, as we know, 7 electrons. 7 electrons, that means on the first shell there are 2, and in the second shell they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons. Good. So that means valence electrons are the electrons in the outermost shell. So that means how many electrons here in the outer shell of nitrogen? There are 5 electrons. So these 5 electrons, they're going to be drawn as dots around what? Around the nitrogen. Well, no problem where you put the dots, as long as the sum of the dots around it is 5 electrons, is 5. So that means 5 electrons are in the valence electrons. Okay, what about hydrogen? Hydrogen here, it has 1 electron. So that means hydrogen, it has just the first level 1 electron. So that means 1 electron in the valence electrons. So that means when we write the hydrogen, we represent the hydrogen by only 1 dot. 1 dot here. Okay, good. Now, if we are talking about NH3, that means we are talking about 1 nitrogen and 3 hydrogens. 3 hydrogens. So this is the first hydrogen, and this is now will be the second hydrogen here. The second hydrogen here, and it will have 1 dot as well. And we can draw in the next hydrogen at any place. We can draw the hydrogen here also. We can draw another hydrogen here, where it will have 1 dot as well, that represents 1 electron. Okay, now NH3. Okay, this nitrogen now here, the nitrogen here, it has, as we said, 5 valence electrons, and the hydrogen has 1 valence electrons. Good. Now, nitrogen is non-metal element and hydrogen is non-metal. So both of them, nitrogen and hydrogen, both of them are non-metal elements. Good. When they share, when they go to reactions, usually they share the electrons. That means they don't lose or gain electrons, just they share electrons. Okay, when they share the electrons, and this is based on the bond. Okay, when they share electrons, that means this electron and this electron will be shared. They'll make 1 bond. So nitrogen will give 1 electron and hydrogen will give 1 electron to be shared. So 2 electrons are shared here as 1 bond. And here is the same, as you see, they're going to make 1 bond. And here now, they're going to make 1 bond. Clear? So that means 3 bonds now. And by the way, why do they make bonds? In this case now, when they make bonds, just they want to feel they are stable. So nitrogen will feel if it has all these electrons are for nitrogen. How many electrons now around the nitrogen, if you see now? There are exactly 8 electrons. So nitrogen will feel that around it in 8 electrons. So that means it reached its octet, so it will feel stable. Same thing for hydrogen. This hydrogen now will feel like this is his own 2 electrons. So it's stable because it has 2 electrons around it. So the first shell is full. So that means it will feel like if it has 2 electrons and it is what's stable. Same thing for the second hydrogen and for the third hydrogen. Okay, now we explain now how the bonds are made inside this molecule, which is NH3. So now the question is, how many non-bonded pairs of electrons? So as you see now, these ones are bonded. These ones are bonded. These ones are bonded. How many electrons is still there inside this molecule where they are unbonded? So unbonded, as you see here, exactly 2 electrons. So as you see here now, 2 electrons here are non-bonded. So 2 electrons represent how many pairs? It represents 1 pair. So that means you go to choose here 1 pair as the answer. So you understand it here, and other examples also will be explained.